Every gilded cage is built with walls of comfort. The only question is what you're paying for them.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are deconstructing one of the most powerful and, let's be honest, persistent metaphors for understanding our world, the pyramid. We're going to explore how our sources use this simple shape as a kind of map to decode the hidden hierarchies of power and control that they claim are secretly running the show.
Okay, so let's just dive right in with this quote from the very influential Freemason, Albert Pike. This really gets to the heart of the pyramid model. The sources we're looking at argue that these kinds of groups are built on an esoteric system, knowledge that's only meant for a small, initiated group, and this idea of a hidden layer of belief, one that operates just beneath the surface of everyday politics and religion, well, that's exactly what the pyramid is meant to show us.
So here's our game plan. We're going to climb this structure together. We'll start at the very bottom with the world we all see every day, and then we're going to move up, layer by layer, into the shadows, all the way to that all-seeing peak where, according to our sources, the real power is held.
Right, so first things first, when these sources talk about the pyramid, what are they actually describing? Let's break down what this whole framework of control is really supposed to be about.
So, it's not a literal building somewhere in the desert. It's a concept, a framework for organizing power. And the sources use this model to explain, well, almost everything. The architecture of global finance, media narratives, government actions, even the very nature of reality itself. Think of it as a blueprint for a top-down system where influence trickles down from the few to the many. And this is where you really see just how versatile the model is. The pyramid isn't just one single idea, it's this incredibly flexible tool. Our sources show it being used to diagram the path to a new world order, to map how knowledge is walled off inside banks and intelligence agencies, and even to rank how trustworthy scientific information is. It's become a universal symbol for any kind of hierarchy. Okay, every pyramid needs a foundation, right? And according to this model, that foundation is the visible world we all live in. It's the systems that shape our daily lives, our beliefs, and what we think of as reality. So in this framework, these big, visible institutions, they're not neutral. They're working together to create what the sources call a colonization of consciousness. The whole idea is that through our media, or schools, and our financial systems, the general population is sort of conditioned to be passive, distracted, and manageable. This creates a really solid, stable base for the entire structure of control to be built on top of.
Now check this out. What's so interesting here is that this table is pulled directly from one of the pyramid models in our sources. It explicitly names these three things, education, entertainment, and religion, as the foundation for what it calls the NWO agenda. It just goes to show how central these public institutions are to the whole blueprint.
Okay, so if that's the visible foundation, what's holding it all up? Now we're going to climb a level, into the shadows. This is a level of power that the sources claim operates completely behind the scenes, run by secret societies and elite interconnected groups. You see, these sources describe a pretty clear historical line. It's not just one group that popped up out of nowhere. It's more like a chain of hidden organizations, each one building on the last, and supposedly passing down this secret knowledge and a long-term plan for global transformation that literally spans centuries. So the really crucial point here is that these aren't just isolated clubs. The story being told in our sources is one of a deeply interconnected web. A network where secret societies, international finance, and major political players all come together to steer global events, from financial markets to actual wars, all of it totally hidden from public view. We've now reached the final stage of our climb, the pyramid's capstone, the all-seeing eye. And this is where the theory takes a really fascinating turn. It moves beyond just earthly control and into the realm of the cosmic and the metaphysical. According to the sources, this is the true origin of the whole agenda.
The apex is presented as this two-sided coin. On one side, you have the ultimate concentration of worldly power. We're talking elite families, the architects of global finance. But on the other side, it's described as the domain of a cosmic entity from ancient Gnostic traditions, the demiurge. This is the idea of a flawed, lesser god who created our material reality not as a paradise, but as a kind of prison designed to trap the divine spark that's inside all of us.
So, if the material world is a prison, how do you escape? Well, the sources claim the key is something called gnosis. It's not about fighting the system from the outside. It's about achieving a state of inner knowledge, this intuitive, personal understanding that awakens your consciousness and lets you see past the illusion. It's about liberating yourself from within.
So what's the ultimate purpose of this whole elaborate structure? What's the end game? Well, it's to methodically guide humanity toward a pre-planned global civilization. And our sources frame this endpoint in two very, very different ways. It's either a utopian, golden age of unity and enlightenment, or it's the ultimate digital prison, a world of total surveillance and control.
So, we've climbed the pyramid from the very bottom to the very top, and that leaves us with one last crucial question. And it's not really about the conspiracy itself, but about the model.
Why this image? Why is the pyramid, this idea of a secret top-down hierarchy, such a powerful and enduring way to explain the world? What makes it so compelling to so many people across so many different theories?
The sources suggest its power really lies in its ability to tell a coherent story in a world that often feels chaotic and confusing. It simplifies complexity. It takes these vague feelings of anxiety and turns them into a clear, identifiable enemy. And maybe most importantly, it offers a path forward, a way for the individual, armed with this secret knowledge, to rise above the whole system.
This line from Milton's epic poem Paradise Lost, it just perfectly captures the core promise of these narratives. It's this idea that even if you're trapped inside a system of total control, something inside you remains unconquerable. Your mind, your spirit. And armed with knowledge or gnosis, that spirit becomes the ultimate tool for liberation.
And so, that's where we'll end. The sources we've looked at lay out this vast, incredibly detailed blueprint for power and control. But whether this pyramid is a true map of the world as it actually is, or if it's really a map of our own deepest fears about power, helplessness, and the unknown, well, that's the question we'll leave with you.